Why intimidating is the word women use when they meet a fit, disciplined older man. When a woman calls a fit older man intimidating, it's not really a compliment about his muscles. It's a confession she doesn't even realize she's making. It's not about your physique. It's about what that physique represents. See, when she meets a man in his 40s or 50s who's sharp, composed, and stronger than most men half his age, something happens in her mind. It's not fear of you, it's a jolt to everything she's been taught about what's possible for men as they age. Society tells men their prime ends at 25. After that, the decline begins, the body softens, the ambition fades, and the spark dulls into comfort. But then you walk in, disciplined, lean, confident, and suddenly that entire narrative collapses. You are living proof that age is not decay, it's mastery. That's what's intimidating. Not your bench press. Not your shoulders. It's the realization that you refused to surrender, that you held on to your drive while the world told you to let it go. 1. Intimidating means you're out of her league, in discipline. When a woman says you're intimidating, what she's really saying is, I'm not sure I can keep up. It's not about looks, it's about energy, focus, and consistency. Your discipline exposes a contrast between who she is now and who she could become if she committed at your level. That's not arrogance, it's truth. Discipline radiates. It can't be faked. And when someone meets that kind of energy, it forces them to look inward. Think of men like Keanu Reeves, humble, composed, relentlessly consistent. His presence reminds people that mastery takes decades, not moments. That's what true strength feels like, quiet, steady, unshakable. 2. You expose the laziness of the average, and that makes waves. Younger men often coast on youth. They rely on metabolism instead of movement. But when you show up at 45 looking sharper than men 20 years younger, you don't just inspire, you unsettle. Because your presence says, this is what's possible when you stay the course. And everyone who has coasted feels that. David Beckham is a perfect example. Still sharp, still driven, still improving. He's not clinging to the past, he's redefining it. That's the kind of energy that demands respect. Women notice that contrast, not just between bodies, but between values. Between temporary motivation and lifelong discipline. 3. You break the aging myth, and that creates cognitive dissonance. When you defy what's expected of a man your age, you force people to question their beliefs. Society has conditioned everyone, men and women alike, to expect decline. But when you're strong, focused, and growing at 50, you're living proof that decline is optional. You're a reminder that the limits we accept are usually just conditioning. Think of Sylvester Stallone, in his 70s and still training with fire in his eyes. That's not vanity. That's defiance. That's discipline as a lifestyle. 4. You represent long-term commitment, and that's rare. Anyone can lift for a few months. Few do it for decades. Anyone can start something new. Few finish what they begin. Your body is more than muscle, it's evidence of integrity. Because the same mindset that keeps you training is the same one that builds lasting relationships, successful careers, and inner peace. Robert Downey Jr.'s story shows that. From chaos to clarity, his transformation wasn't luck, it was consistency, over and over, long after the world stopped watching. That's what makes you magnetic. Reliability is the rarest form of attraction. 5. Intimidation is attraction mixed with self-doubt. At the core, intimidation is simply attraction wrapped in uncertainty. It's not that she doesn't like what she sees, it's that she's unsure she could stand beside it. Your success, your strength, your calm, they all mirror her own potential. And mirrors can be uncomfortable. But here's the beauty. When you stay grounded, kind, and confident, that fear transforms into respect, and that respect becomes connection. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson embodies this. His energy intimidates, yet inspires. Because true power doesn't dominate, it uplifts. The lesson. When someone calls you intimidating, don't shrink. Don't soften your presence to make others comfortable. You've earned that energy through effort, through years of choosing discipline over distraction. You've proven that growth doesn't end, it compounds. So stand tall in your strength, not as a threat, but as a reminder of what's possible. Because the truth is, What people find intimidating about you isn't your age, your muscles, or your achievements. It's your refusal to settle for less than your potential. You didn't just age. You evolved. And that's not intimidating. That's inspiring.